in 5 years of legalization to ruin our culture and way of life and our communities than they did in 50 years of chasing us as outlaws. When they realized they were not going to be able to keep it back and legalization was going to come in, they sat back and they just said, okay, how are we going to really take these people out? Because they hated us. I've been saying all along that if you look at the powers that be in the elite, they stripped the middle class of this country. They moved all the manufacturing overseas, and they basically were destroying this country from the inside out. And the only thing left that held it up was cannabis. Over all those years, it was a huge source of money that not only on the West Coast, but all the way back to the East Coast. And it was funding all kinds of alternative living and thinking and being. And they just didn't like us at all. That's why they went after us so hard. And so when they realized we were going to go legal, they sat back and came up with that little known 280E tax regulation where you can't deduct anything but the cost of goods. And I'll tell you what, if you took any traditional company in this country and tried to make them exist under 280E, they couldn't make it because all you could deduct was the cost of the goods. You don't get to take off the labor, your rent, your insurance, anything. And you couldn't make it. That's why every cannabis company, not just farmers, but every retailer, every manufacturer is going broke in this state because they can't do it. And then we already live in the most taxed and regulated state in the country. And so they just repress the heck out of us with all these repressive taxes and regulations. And for the farmers up north, they stick the water boards on us and the fish and game and all the building departments. All of us up here had, Class K or underground buildings, our roads and stuff. A lot of us hadn't gone in and gotten our permits and all the rest of it. And the next thing you know, they're coming in and telling us you got to double up the size of your culverts. You got to legalize every building. You got to come back in there and now your ponds. And I mean, they just chewed us alive. And so while all these big farms down south didn't have to worry about any of that, they could just start planting cannabis. All of us had to spend years just trying to get our properties legal so that we could actually have a chance. And in the meantime, most of us couldn't. It cost $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 while we're trying to just stay alive, compete against these large farms down south. There was a setup to fail that was an impossible mission for us. I mean, I tell people, it's like, don't feel bad if you didn't make it because there wasn't any way to make it. How many farmers up here really are making it? You look at the best brands, Ridgeline, you look at, Huckleberry, they're all barely making it. I mean, and these are the best of the best because with 280E and all the taxes and all the water boards and everything, it's just prohibitive. And so they've really worn us out. It's criminal. I said what they've done, they really should do a subsidy like they do with the farmers across the Midwest, and every farmer that's been here for 10 years or more should get, I mean, maybe more for each year or something, but everybody should get $200,000 to $400,000 just to be able to make up for what they've lost and be able to give them a chance. Because one of the other things that people don't realize is that all the farmers up here, what do we do with our money? We couldn't go spend it when we were making money back in the day. Most people put it into their farms. They developed these beautiful farms throughout the Emerald Triangle. Well, now those farms have gone down half or more in value. So people thought they had a nest egg with these farms that would be worth $1 million or $1.5 million. Now they're worth $500,000, and you can't even give them away if you're back there in Island Mountain or back at Bell Springs or back at Spy Rock. Spy Rock used to have over 225 farms out there. There's only 25 farms with people living on them right now. And people don't understand, Spy Rock is the most infamous road in Mendocino County, not Humboldt, but in Mendocino County, it's the outlaw growing region. I mean, it's where the Army landed when they came into Mendocino with the Spy Rock School. It's deserted. They're all gone because they can't make a living anymore. And so we're looking at the end of a way of life for Laytonville, for northern Mendocino, look at Garberville as a ghost town. People have been writing about it. But I mean, they have really no idea until they really get the full impact of what they've done to people. And it's not just the farmers, it's all the gas stations, the restaurants, the ancillary markets to support all these people. So it's really an end of a way of life in a certain way. And it's not what I had envisioned or planned or hoped for when we went with 64.